The Haunted Lighthouse. Nestled atop a rugged cliff overlooking the stormy sea, the Beacon Isle Lighthouse stood as a solitary sentinel. Its towering structure had guided ships safely through treacherous waters for generations. But beneath its noble purpose, the lighthouse held a dark secret, a secret that would soon be unveiled by an unsuspecting visitor. As I approached the lighthouse, the crashing waves below created a symphony of power and danger. The wind whipped through my hair, and the air was thick with the scent of salt and brine. The lighthouse's light swept across the horizon, its reassuring beacon piercing through the darkness. I had heard whispers of strange occurrences surrounding the Beacon Isle Lighthouse, whispers of ghostly figures and eerie lights that danced within its walls. Intrigued by the tales, I decided to spend a night within its confines, hoping to experience the mystery firsthand. The lighthouse keeper, an elderly man named Elias, greeted me with a wary smile. His eyes held a mixture of weariness and knowledge, as if he had seen more than he cared to admit. He showed me to a small room on the upper level, where a simple bed and a flickering lantern awaited me. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the rugged landscape, I settled into my room. The sound of the waves crashing against the cliffs filled the air, a constant reminder of the sea's power. I lit the lantern and watched its light dance upon the walls, feeling a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Hours passed, and the lighthouse's beam continued to sweep across the night sky. The isolation and the rhythmic sound of the waves had a soothing effect, and I began to wonder if the tales of haunting were simply the products of an overactive imagination. But then, as the clock struck midnight, a chill ran down my spine. A soft whisper seemed to fill the air. A voice carried on the wind, a haunting melody that seemed to emerge from the very walls of the lighthouse. It was a melancholic tune, one that seemed to echo with sorrow and longing. I followed the sound, my heart pounding as I climbed the spiraling staircase that led to the top of the lighthouse. The melody grew louder with each step until I reached the lantern room, a circular chamber with windows that offered a panoramic view of the sea. And there, standing by the windows, was a figure, a woman dressed in a gown that seemed to shimmer like moonlight on the water. Her hair cascaded down her shoulders, and her eyes held a depth of emotion that seemed to penetrate my very soul. "Who are you?" I whispered, my voice carried away by the wind that swept through the room. The woman's lips moved, but no words emerged. Instead, images flashed before my eyes, a story of love and tragedy, of a life lived by the sea, and a love that had been torn apart by cruel fate. The woman had been Isabella, the lighthouse keeper's daughter, who had fallen in love with a sailor. Their love had been passionate and wild, a flame that burned against the backdrop of the stormy sea. But one fateful night, the sailor's ship had been lost to the depths, and Isabella had been consumed by grief. Elias, unable to bear his daughter's pain, had made a pact with dark forces. He had used forbidden magic to bind Isabella's spirit to the lighthouse, hoping to keep her close and ease her suffering. But the magic had twisted, and Isabella's spirit had become trapped, a haunting melody that echoed through the years. As the tale unfolded, I felt a surge of empathy for Isabella. Her love had been her downfall, and the very lighthouse that had once brought her solace had become her prison. Determined to break the curse and set Isabella's spirit free, I knew I had to confront Elias and undo the dark magic that bound her. The following morning, I confronted Elias, who confessed to his desperate act. Together, we embarked on a dangerous ritual, a way to reverse the magic that had tethered Isabella to the lighthouse. As the storm raged outside, we chanted incantations and offered our intentions to the forces that governed life and death. As the ritual reached its climax, the lighthouse trembled, its walls pulsating with energy. The wind outside grew stronger, as if nature itself recognized the moment's significance. And then, with a blinding flash of light, Isabella's figure appeared before us. Her gaze met Elias's, and a tear slid down her cheek. He reached out to her, his expression filled with regret and love. The melody that had haunted the lighthouse for years transformed into a beautiful symphony, a culmination of sorrow and redemption. Isabella's form began to fade, but her smile held a sense of release. With a final touch, she vanished, leaving behind an air of serenity that seemed to permeate the very walls of the lighthouse. As the storm subsided, the Beacon Isle Lighthouse remained, its light once again a symbol of guidance and safety. The haunting melody was no more, replaced by the echoes of a love that had transcended time and death. As I left the lighthouse behind, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the power of love and the choices we make in the name of that love. The haunting of the Beacon Isle Lighthouse was a reminder that even in the face of darkness, there is always a glimmer of light, a chance for redemption and a release from the chains that bind us.